You know that feeling, right? You open up a drawer, maybe pull out a cherished silver heirloom, a spoon, a locket, a serving tray, and your heart just sinks. It's covered in this ugly black film. And for a second, you have this moment of pure panic. You think, oh no, it's ruined. I've let a piece of family history just decay.
Believe me, I've seen that look of pure heartbreak 1,000 times. People come in thinking their grandmother's entire tea set is just rotting away and that they've done something terribly wrong. But what if I told you that black film is actually a good thing?
That's right. Relax. That black film is just the silver doing exactly what it's supposed to do. In fact, if your silver didn't turn black over time, that's when you should actually start to worry. That tarnish isn't a flaw, it's a feature. Okay, let's dive into this.
So to really get why, we need to look at the super simple science behind what's happening here. We're going to get into the chemistry of this, well, this living metal, and see why tarnish is actually your best friend. Okay, so first things first. A lot of people confuse tarnish with rust, but they are worlds apart. Rust, you know, the stuff that happens to iron, is actually destructive. It literally eats away at the metal, corroding it. Tarnish? It's a completely different chemical reaction. It's a purely surface-level thing that doesn't damage the silver underneath one bit. So here's the key. That black film you're seeing is a compound called silver sulfide. It's created when silver gets exposed to sulfur. That's it. Think of it like a chemical bond forming when silver and sulfur molecules meet. The silver is simply doing what it's naturally programmed to do. It's reacting.
And where does all this sulfur come from? Ha, you'd be surprised. It's literally floating around in the air, especially if you live in a city. But it's also all over your kitchen. It's in eggs, onions, even mayonnaise. And as we're about to find out, it's highly concentrated in everyday things like rubber bands and latex gloves. It's pretty much impossible to avoid.
So if this tarnish is basically inevitable, why on earth is it your best friend? Well, because in a world that is just full of fakes, tarnish is a chemical signature. It's a badge that proves you've got the real deal.
Just think about it for a second. We are surrounded by silver-toned stuff, you know, resins and mystery metals that look all perfect and shiny when you buy them and then just fall apart. Real sterling silver is chemically active. It reacts with its environment. Those cheap fakes, they're inert. They stay shiny because they're basically lifeless. So seeing that tarnish is actually your very first clue that you're looking at an authentic piece of silver.
And I just love this way of thinking about it. We called it living silver. Tarnish gives a piece depth and character. I mean, without it, all those intricate Victorian floral patterns would just look flat. The tarnish provides the shadow that makes the polished highlights really pop. It tells a story. If a piece has been sitting in a drawer for 20 years, it's going to show you.
You know, this brings us to a really modern way of looking at vintage items. We're kind of moving away from this idea that everything needs to look brand new all the time. Instead, we're learning to value what time creates.
The big trend right now is something we call honest wear. We're shifting away from that old 1950s ideal where everything had to be polished to this blinding, almost painful mirror finish. Instead, we're embracing the natural look that develops over time, which has a name: patina. Honestly, it's seen as more authentic, and frankly, a lot more interesting.
And here's why this is so important. Every single time you polish a piece of silver, you are physically removing a microscopic layer of the metal itself. Now, if you have a silver-plated item, this is crucial. It only has a limited number of polishes in its entire life before you wear right through to the base metal underneath. So embracing the patina isn't just an aesthetic choice, it's a sustainable way to preserve your heirlooms for generations to come.
Now, of course, this doesn't mean you should just let your spoons turn pitch black. It's all about managing the process, not constantly fighting some kind of chemical war against it. Once you understand the cause, you can prevent the worst of it without going totally overboard.
So let's break down the culprits, shall we? You've got that slow, even browning that comes from sulfur just in the air. Then there's the immediate yellowing you get from foods like eggs. But look here at the entry for rubber bands. It causes deep, localized black scarring. Seriously. Never ever use rubber bands to store your silver. It is, and I am quoting here, silver's kryptonite.
All right, let's just do a quick recap of the most important points. 1. Tarnish is silver sulfide, a simple chemical reaction, not rot. 2. It's your proof that the silver is authentic. 3. Keep your silver away from sulfur, especially rubber. And 4. Learn to embrace the patina. That beautiful, high-contrast look that only time can create, it actually adds value and character.
I absolutely love this piece of wisdom from the bench. It says it all. The more you actually use and handle your silver, the less you have to polish it. The natural oils in your skin, the gentle friction from a dish towel, they do more to maintain a beautiful finish than any harsh chemical ever could. So please, use your good stuff.
So the next time you see that dark film on a family heirloom, don't panic. Take a closer look. That tarnish isn't a flaw. It's a chemical signature, a sign of its quality, and a chapter in its history. It's the silver telling you exactly where it's been. So the real question is, what story is your silver telling?